So EggstraWork is back on once again on Salmonid Smokeyard with these weapons and specials. In my opinion, this is one of the best extra works we've ever had because the waves are really consistent. This means that once you get a strategy down, you can repeat it over and over again and expect similar results. And as always, this is just the general guide. You can add or subtract your own strategies into the mix. I always recommend playing with people or friends that you know, and like always, I'll link a SalmonRun Discord server down in the description. And that's enough of me yapping, so let's get started. So before we start, I'd like to give a big thank you to Sourmint, Tim Tams, and NoName321 for helping me make this video. So to start off your run, you want to complete the first wave, which I'll just speed through. Okay, now that we're on wave 2, you can see that I am on the squeezer. So with the squeezer on wave 2, you really just want to focus the goldies. You don't want to focus the chums because you can let the carbon and the umbrella take care of that. So the goldflies actually have a pattern on which they target people. So here the goldflies actually target the squeezer first, so I'm just sitting up here shooting the goldies. So the umbrella should be shooting its umbrella out every time it can to take care of all the chums, and the carbon roller should be on this ramp right in front of me, just against the wall, trying to kill as many chums as possible because the chums are the only big threat. The squeezer can take care of the goldies, and the umbrella can also take care of the goldies as well because they do the most damage. So if you didn't already know, the roller should be slow rolling, like barely moving your joystick, so that you're still technically rolling, so you still do damage to the chums, but you're not moving as far away from the ramp. And like I mentioned before, there is a pattern for the goldflies. So after the squeezer gets targeted, the end zap gets targeted, then the tank gets targeted, and then the end zap again. So once the goldflies target the end zap the second time, the end zap wants to pop a kraken. And with that kraken, they should go as close to the basket as possible and just spam jump, staying in the same spot. And while the end zap is doing that, everyone else should be focused on putting eggs because the goldflies are on the kraken. For the rest of the wave, just go back to this ramp over here, make sure the carbon is squishing the chums, and the umbrella is squishing the chums, and just get as many eggs as you can. So some eggs will actually fall far away from the basket. You don't have to worry about those unless you really want to, but sometimes snatchers can get those, which can solve that problem. And for wave 2, you want to aim for around 45 eggs. So wave 3 is low tide, so you should all head down and try to paint up as much as possible in the beginning. So the first boss will be a flipper flopper on the left, so let it come closer to the basket and then get the eggs from it. And then after that flipper flopper, the end zap and the squeezer should both go down to the right shore and kill this stinger. And try not to kill this moss while you're at it here, let it go back to the basket, but also try to get all 3 eggs from the stinger. And as you're learning everything, once you see that stinger pop up right there in the middle, wait a little bit, and then the carbon can pop an inkjet to kill multiple stingers that will spawn in succession. That last stinger on the right might not be killed, so someone can go finish it off. So now at the end, you want to watch out for the snatchers that escape with eggs on the left side, and you want to keep luring the last couple bosses. Usually we had a pileup of eggs on the left side, so we made sure to get all those. We were able to consistently get over 50 here, but even if you don't get the double quota, that's okay. So wave 4 is mothership, and the squeezer and the tenebrella should be on the side close to the basket, while the NZAP and the carbon go to the side away from the basket. This will be important later, but the squeezer should be on the left side of the basket, as you can see here, and the tenebrella should be on the right side of the basket. So basically here, I'm just trying to kill all the boxes as fast as possible while also delivering eggs at the same time. And the carbon and the NZAP should be doing the same thing, but instead of putting them in basket, they just throw them to our side because it's pretty hard to get the eggs in from that side into the basket. And once the mothership comes down for the first time, the NZAP can come over to this side to help DPS the mothership and also put in eggs. The tent should also be shooting the mothership to try to DPS it down as fast as possible, but the squeezer here should be doing what I'm doing right here. So I didn't show it really well right here, but you want to stand on the elevated platform behind the basket and kind of arc your shots on top of the mothership because more Chinooks will spawn on top of the mothership. And this is what it looks like if done properly. So right there, as you can see, I'm jumping up and down, but I'm shooting in bursts at the height of my jump so that I can reach the Chinooks, because without jumping, you can't reach them. And basically what that does is make a big stack of eggs in one spot right next to the basket so it's easy to put in. So when the mothership comes down for a second time, the tenebrella wants to pop a killer whale early so that it can damage the mothership before it even gets to the basket. And again, you see me here jumping up and down and shooting after the mothership has been defeated, because after it goes away, it spawns a big pile of Chinooks all in the same spot, which then you can explode for a bunch of eggs right next to the basket. I forgot to mention this earlier, but as the mothership comes down for a second time, the carbon and the NZAP should start heading back and start helping put in eggs into the basket. I would try to aim for around 60 eggs on mothership and try to get the double quota if you can. So wave 5 is just a normal wave. At the start, everyone should gather around this right side here to lure in a flipper flopper and to also lure in some steelheads that will spawn on the opposite side. After the flipper flopper has been defeated, make sure the steelheads are far up the ramp so that the eggs spawn closer to the basket. The squeezer then can come over here on the grates and kill the stinger. Then the squeezer should head to the opposite side where another stinger will spawn. And I'm pretty sure this stinger spawn is only on hazard level 300. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. And during this wave, a load of flyfish will spawn, so make sure to use your remaining whales, your remaining inkjets, and your remaining triple ink strikes to try to kill the flyfish. I actually used my triple ink strike there on some fish sticks, which is also a good choice. And make sure to scatter your specials around a little bit so you get the most bang for your buck with each special. And when the area around the basket starts becoming crowded with a bunch of enemies, the NZAP can then pop their last Kraken to clear out the area. And as always, as a wave begins to end, everyone should just stop what they're doing and focus on putting eggs into the basket. We consistently got a 49 here, but I would say to aim for 40 to 45. But actually, if you have a lower hazard level than 300, wave 5 becomes considerably easier, which allows you to get way more eggs than we did here. We ended up getting a record of 244, and now I'd predict that the top 5% will be around the 230 to 240 egg range. If this video was helpful, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.